Actually, I had not been watching. I was taking care of patients, and I was nearing the end of my shift, and Andrew Lee, who's the trauma coordinator here, came out and said that the tornado was fairly close, and it looks like that it was on a head-on collision with us.
The big thing that stood out to me were the amount of children that we saw. The very first patients that we got were children.
The first call that we got from the paramedics was that we had 3 infants in full cardiac arrest, and there were multiple critically injured patients still in the Rosedale area that they were trying to transport to us.
Unfortunately, we did have several children that did not survive, and I guess that was the thing that was the toughest because they were the first patients that we saw, and there were a lot of kids that we really didn't expect to get.
At the time that the tornado hit, we had a pretty bad car accident, so we had some patients from that, and we had a little 3-year-old who had some seizure activity, and she was intubated. So myself and another nurse was in the room with her when the tornado was spotted. Our nurse manager, Terry Snyder, came down the hall and said they had spotted a tornado, and it was kind of headed toward the hospital, and we should take cover. But we had a 3-year-old intubated patient. You can't really leave her. So the other nurse, Sharon Oakley, and I stayed with her, and just kind of, I laid over her legs and she laid over her chest, and we looked out the window because it's a little small window, and you could see the debris, and very quickly you could kind of see it as it passed by, but pretty much as quick as it came, it left.
One patient I remember specifically was a gentleman probably in his 40s that had a femur fracture or a thigh bone fracture, and he told me that his wife had died and his son was here somewhere, and he just wanted us to take care of his son. He wasn't worried about himself, he just wanted to make sure his son was taken care of.
We knew that it was going to be an issue that we were definitely going to have to deal with. We never expected it to be this close to us or have the impact that it did. As everybody knows, it was a really large storm that caused a lot of damage, and in turn did something to our community that we had never seen before and hope to never see again.
That night it felt like about 20,000, but I think it was more like 600 or 700. They started coming in probably 10 to 15 minutes after the tornado hit, and we were still, getting the remnants of them 6, 7 o'clock the next morning.
Well, I think that the spirit of the people here has certainly been shown in recent days, and a cooperative spirit with everybody, with the city and the county and the state authorities, and just individuals. If you ride down McFarland Boulevard now, you already see that people are moving debris, and they already have signs up that we're coming back, we're building here.
It just seems like every day there's more groups from all over the United States and the world that are coming to help, and that's pretty amazing that little Tuscaloosa County has garnered that much help.
This community doesn't give up. You can see it in the response. Just from my experience, the nurses that work here working a full shift at the hospital and turn around and going out and volunteering. The community coming to us, bringing us food here at the hospital to help us out, because a lot of us were here for 2 or 3 days straight, just making sure that the patients were taken care of.
But I think Tuscaloosa will be bigger and better at the end of the rebuilding process.